Monday and next week in general will be absolutely crazy for Churchill Capital or CCIV Stock. The rumors are building and the market is eagerly waiting to see if they will be merging with a very promising electric vehicle company, Lucid Motors. I am personally long CCIV stock right now, and I will be going through the recent developments and news when it comes to this merger and whether it will happen or not. I will also discuss my own opinion on whether I think right now is a good time to get into CCIV stock or if it is too late. So stay tuned, guys. Firstly though, looking at the stock chart for CCIV, it has come a very long way since my last video about a week ago, I think, being up around 25%, and when you compare it to the base share price of $10 a share, we have seen a gain of more than 120% in quite a short time period. So congratulations to everyone who bought in. Now, SPACs such as Churchill Capital are very tricky when it comes to price action. Usually they go up a lot on rumors of their merger. Then when the acquisition is really announced and confirmed, that's when the stock usually really goes up a lot before people start taking profits after the merger, usually. As I am a long-term investor though, and not a trader, I am not very concerned about this short-term price action, as I think that if Churchill Capital merges with Lucid Motors, I will probably be holding on to them for years and years to come. With that said though, I think even the traders have a nice opportunity here to make good money, because if the merger actually gets confirmed, the stock could easily double or triple in share price very quickly. As you can imagine, there has been insane amounts of speculation about this merger because it would be such a big deal if it does happen. So let's go through the recent news about it and summarize all the reasons why it might happen. First of all though, what even is Lucid Motors and why does everyone want to be early investors in this company? Guys, Lucid Motors is really one of the most promising electric vehicle startups in my opinion. These guys are quite mature and have come a long way really. You can see all their very nicely designed cars in the background, by the way. And just last month they completed the construction of their $700 million factory in Arizona, so they are preparing to really ramp up their production. This facility will really be massive, with just the initial capacity to produce and deliver 30,000 vehicles this year and the potential to go all the way to 400,000 vehicles annually in the future. And guys, in just a couple months, we'll probably be seeing Lucid Air sedans being delivered, so this company is absolutely not just empty words. They have already come quite a long way, especially comparing them to the other electric vehicle startups out there right now. And lastly, what I find very interesting about Lucid is that it is packed with experienced former Tesla engineers who probably left Tesla and moved over to Lucid to have the freedom to really do what they do best and fulfill their own visions about how the car should look and work. For example, the CEO of Lucid Motors himself was actually chief engineer of the Tesla Model S before he left Tesla. They also have Tesla's former manufacturing executive working for them, so I am expecting these cars to be really advanced and futuristic. Alright, now that that is out of the way, you can probably guess yourselves that I am excited about Lucid Motors and will likely own stocks in them in the future regardless of how this merger turns out. But if Churchill Capital does acquire Lucid, we will instantly, in my opinion, see a massive spike in their share price, and we will have the privilege of being one of the first public investors in this company, hopefully being there as they grow with billions and billions of dollars in market cap. And that is also why the stock went up so much last Friday. We got some great news that again tells us that a merger will happen. We already saw Bloomberg some time ago start this whole thing when they talked about Churchill Capital acquiring Lucid, but now we have Los Angeles Times publishing an article about the company that seems very bullish for CCIV stock. They wrote, and I quote, "In a deal that is near completion, according to a source familiar with the negotiations, the company would draw a hefty but as yet undetermined amount of cash to fund its operations. If the deal goes off without a hitch, Lucid executives and board members, including Chairman Andrew Liveris, a former Dow Chemical chief executive with deep financial ties to Saudi Arabia, would get a shot at a big payday." end quote. Now, what is important about this is them saying that the deal is near completion, according to a source familiar with the negotiations. This of course caused the stock to go up 25% on Friday. Guys, the LA Times are just like Bloomberg, being held accountable for the financial news, and they just can't make these things up. Just imagine how bad the LA Times will look if it turns out that the negotiations just fall apart and nothing happens. No one would trust them anymore on the financial reporting, which would in turn hurt them as a media company in the long term. That in itself is, in my opinion, incredibly bullish for CCIV stock. Now, apart from this, there are just so many signs that these two companies will merge, and I will briefly go through the main ones. Firstly, we are sure that Lucid will go public in one way or another, and that this will happen quite soon. They have already sent out requests for jobs in investor relations, and they even want an SEC reporting manager. Secondly, just look at all these connections between executives in Churchill Capital and the executives in Lucid Motors. For example, we have Andrew Liveris, who is both the operating partner of Churchill Capital and a chairman in Lucid Motors. Also, two operating partners at Churchill Capital were both working at Ford at the same time as two vice presidents at Lucid Motors, which also happens to be, a vehicle and a car company. Lastly, both companies have strong ties to the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, who has financed them massively over the years. So now you guys can understand why everyone are so sure about this merger happening. Just to hear that there are negotiations right now is really huge, since the absolute majority of the time these negotiations turn into an actual deal. But with that said, guys, how am I personally playing CCIV stock, and do I think this is still a good time to invest in it despite the recent run-up? Well, like I said earlier, I am personally long CCIV, and as long as a merger goes through, I am expecting some massive returns in the short term and being an investor in a fantastic, promising startup company in the longer term. But if I was considering buying it right now, it is all about your risk tolerance, in my opinion. If for some reason Churchill Capital ends up not acquiring Lucid, that would likely lead to it dropping back to $10 a share and half of your money being lost. If on the other hand it does go through, I'm looking at an easy double or triple in share price quite quickly. So here you really have to make your own assessment and see if you can afford to lose your money before going in. Personally, I can afford losing the money that I'm investing in the stock, which is why I am in this bet where I think the odds are massively in my favor. If you also have a high risk tolerance, I think even the current prices are worth it, since I could see us going to $50 a share quite quickly if the merger does get announced, which might even happen early next week, guys. As always though, I have to remind you, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice, so really guys, especially in this case, do your own research and come to your own conclusions, since this is really not investment advice. It's only for fun and entertainment, really. And with that, I want to conclude today's video. If you are new here, by the way, my name is Sam and welcome to this channel. Here I talk about various different growth stocks that I think have potential for the future and will make a great impact. And I think Lucid Motors is really one of those stocks, so let's see if the merger will happen or not. It's gonna be quite exciting. Anyways, if you like this particular video, then please press that like button. It is the absolute best way you can support the channel right now, and it helps the video reach out to more people. Also, if you watched all the way to this point, and if you enjoyed the content of course, then why not subscribe to the channel and join our rapidly growing community. Guys, I appreciate all your support. We are growing faster than ever. I know I always say that, but it's because it's true. It's just so thankful. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video, really. Bye.